Hey y'all, welcome back to Unfiltered Connections, where we have the conversations people are sometimes afraid to have. I'm your host, Janique, also known as Positively Me, and today I need y'all to be honest, like really honest. Let's say you met somebody, they're attractive, y'all click, the conversation is good, the chemistry is good, the chemistry is chemistry, and you start thinking, okay, I might like this person, like for real, for real. And then they sit you down and say, before this goes any further, I need you to know I'm living with HIV. What happens next? Do you stay? Do you leave? Do you panic? Do you start asking questions? Or does everything you've ever heard about HIV suddenly take over? That's what we're talking about today. Would you date someone living with HIV? And I don't just want the cute, political, correct answer. I want the real answer because this is Unfiltered Connections. Now, if your first reaction was, I don't know, or even hell no, I'm not mad at you, but I do want to know why. What exactly scares you? You do not know everybody's status. Now, this is the part that always gets me. Somebody will say, I could never have sex with somebody who has HIV. Okay, but let me ask you something. Do you know the status of everybody you ever slept with? And I mean, no. Not they looked healthy. Not they told me they were clean. Not they didn't look like they were sick. Did you actually see the test results though? Did you ask them when was the last time they tested? Did you have a real sexual health conversation with them? Because a lot of people have unprotected sex with somebody whose status they don't know and feel completely comfortable. But soon as somebody like me say, oh, I'm HIV positive, I live with HIV, I'm in treatment, I know my status, and suddenly now you're afraid. Like, make it make sense, y'all. For real. That's interesting, right? Because sometimes it's not that people are afraid of HIV. Sometimes they're afraid of knowing somebody has HIV. And that right there is where stigma comes into conversation. Now, this next question may be tricky, but I want y'all to answer it anyway. Are you afraid of HIV or the word? Think about it. The word is still scared. The word still scares people because many people are carrying old information. They hear HIV and immediately think AIDS, they think death, they think sickness, they think danger, no sex, no relationship, no future. But it's not the full reality of HIV anymore. And I think sometimes the fear is bigger than the facts. That's why I keep talking about this. Because people can't make informed decisions about dating someone living with HIV if they don't understand what HIV looks like in 2026. And this brings me to one of the biggest things people need to know, and that's you equals you. If you remember nothing else from this episode, please remember this. You equals you. Undetectable equals untransmittable. A person living with HIV who takes effective treatment and maintains an undetectable viral load has zero risk of sexually transmitting HIV. Zero. And I know some people still hear that say, wait, really? Yes, that's exactly why HIV education matters. Because somebody can reject a person living with HIV based on a fear that doesn't match the science. Now listen, nobody has to date anybody. Nobody owes anybody a relationship. But if you're going to make a decision, at least make it with correct information, not information from 1994. Okay, now, I know somebody listening thinking like, okay, Johnny, I understand what you're saying. But what about the person who doesn't have HIV? Yeah, that's a fair question. And this is where PrEP comes into conversation. PrEP is HIV prevention medication for people who do not have HIV. When taken as prescribed, it can greatly reduce the chance of you acquiring HIV. So now, look at the tools we have. You have testing, condoms, PrEP, HIV treatment, you equals you, communication, education, and there are options. And that's what people need to understand. Dating someone living with HIV in 2026 is not the same conversation people were having decades ago. I really believe that if people will stop stigmatizing HIV, a lot of people will be more freely to disclose their status. Now let's talk about something that is very real. Telling somebody you're living with HIV. Imagine you really like somebody, you're vibing, you're getting comfortable, and now you know you need to have that conversation. That can be scary because you don't know what their reaction is going to be. Are they going to ask questions? Are they going to reject you? Are they going to look at you differently? Are they going to go tell somebody? Are they going to take something private that you trusted them with, and turn and run and gossip about it? That fear is real. Trust me, I know it all too well. I got comfortable. I told somebody my status, and that person shut down, told me, well, first of all, they told me that they were okay with my status and ghosted me the next couple of days just to turn around and go tell my business. Yeah, it gets real like that. And I think people need to understand that disclosure is not always just, hey, by the way, I have HIV. It can be an extremely vulnerable moment. You're trusting somebody with your personal information about your health, and you're hoping they respond with maturity, even if they decide the relationship isn't for them. Now I want to turn the question around and ask you some questions. Does that seem fair? When are you going to disclose? Okay. What are you disclosing? When was your last HIV test? When was your last screening for STIs? Do you know your status? Are you talking about condoms? Are you talking about sexual health before you have sex? Or are you just assuming everybody is negative unless they tell you otherwise? Because sexual health is not only the responsibility of one person living with HIV. It's a shared responsibility. Everybody involved in a sexual relationship should know their status and have honest conversations. Now here's something I think people might be surprised to hear me say. You have the right to say no. If somebody tells you that they're living with HIV and you decide this relationship is not for me, that's your choice. That's okay. Nobody should pressure you. Nobody should shame you. But here's what I would ask you to do. Ask yourself why. Is your decision based on accurate information, or is it based on fear? Is it based on stigma? Is it based on something you heard 20 years ago? There's a big difference between I understand the facts and I've made my personal decision, and I would never date somebody living with HIV. One is a boundary, the other one is dehumanizing, and we need to know the difference. HIV doesn't make somebody unlovable. Your diagnosis does not make you unlovable. It does not make you dirty. It does not make you broken. It does not mean that you have to accept less just because you're living with HIV. You're still worthy of love. You're still worthy of respect. You're still worthy of intimacy. You're still worthy of healthy relationships. And somebody rejecting you does not determine your value. Sometimes people simply just don't understand. Sometimes people are not ready. Sometimes somebody is just not your person. And that's okay. But don't let one person's reaction convince you that nobody will ever love you, because that's not true. Trust me, even after my diagnosis, I done been in relationships, and some of them failed, not because of my status, because they just didn't work out. Disclosing, it was hard, but I did it anyway. That's the first thing. That was my introduction. After I was diagnosed, when somebody came up to me trying to talk to me or flirt with me. Hi, I'm Janique. I'm HIV positive. Straightforward. Because either you're going to deal with me or you're not. We're not doing this back and forth. And it's okay if you don't choose to, if you don't want to. It's okay. I'm not judging you. It's okay. I respect it, and we're going to move on. Now, this is what I want people to think about. If you met somebody living with HIV who knows their status, is in treatment, takes care of their health, communicates openly, understands you equals you, and respects your sexual health, why will that automatically make them more dangerous to date than someone whose status you don't even know? That's the question. Because sometimes knowing somebody's living with HIV actually means you are having more honest conversations about sexual health than you ever had before. And that's something people don't talk about enough. That's them letting you know that they take care of themselves. They go to the doctor regularly. They take their treatment so that they can stay healthy. They can live a long life. And so can you. Now that we've had that conversation, I want your real answer. Would you date someone living with HIV? And don't just say yes or no. Tell me why. And I also want to know, did learning about you equals you change anything for you? Did you know about PrEP? Did you know it existed? Did anything I said today make you look at HIV differently? Let's talk about it. No judgment, no attacking each other, just honest conversation and education. Don't be rude in my comments. I don't deal with the rudeness. As you can see, you will be deleted and blocked. I just want you to answer the questions. At the end of the day, I'm not here to convince anybody that they have to date someone living with HIV. That's not my goal. My goal is to make sure your decisions are based on truth instead of stigma. Ask questions, learn, get tested, educate yourself, understand you equals you, learn about PrEP, talk about sexual health, and remember, that person sitting across from you who says, I'm living with HIV, is still a person. They still have feelings. They still want love. They still deserve respect. And they are so much more than their diagnosis. I'm Janique, also known as Positively Me. Thank you for hanging out with me for another episode of Unfiltered Connections. Real conversations, real education, no stigma, and as always, keep it unfiltered. I'll see you next Sunday.